At my baby shower, my mother-in-law announced she was pregnant. My husband hugged her. I froze. That moment broke something inside me that could never be fixed. What happened next would destroy our entire family. I, 28F, had spent months planning the perfect baby shower. Every pink ribbon, every carefully arranged flower, every detail was chosen with love for the daughter growing inside me. My husband, Mark, 30M, had promised this day would be about us, about our miracle after 2 years of trying. But I should have known better when his mother, Karen, 48F, walked in wearing a flowing dress that seemed oddly strategic. Karen had always needed attention. At our wedding, she wore white. At my birthday dinner, she announced her promotion. At our housewarming, she cried about her divorce until everyone comforted her instead of touring our new home. But Mark always defended her. His mom had raised him alone, and he said I needed to be more understanding. So I bit my tongue and smiled, keeping the peace for the man I loved. The baby shower was perfect at first. 30 of our closest friends and family filled my sister's backyard. Pink balloons floated above tables, covered in white lace. A 3-tier cake waited on the dessert table, decorated with tiny sugar flowers. Mountains of wrapped presents surrounded my chair like a throne of love and support. This was my day, my celebration, my moment to feel special before becoming a mother. I was halfway through opening gifts when Karen stood up. She clinked her champagne glass with a spoon, demanding attention. My stomach tightened, but I kept smiling. Maybe she just wanted to give a nice toast. Maybe today would be different. I want to say how proud I am of my son, Karen began, tears already forming in her eyes. Watching him become a father is the greatest gift a mother could ask for. Life is so precious, so miraculous. The crowd murmured agreement. Smiling at her apparent emotion, she placed her hand on her stomach in a deliberate, practiced motion. And that's why I have my own announcement, she continued, her voice rising with excitement. We'll have 2 miracles to celebrate, because I'm pregnant too. She pulled her dress tight against her body, revealing what looked like a small bump. The backyard went completely silent. Forks stopped moving. Conversations died, mid-word. Every eye turned from her to me, then back to her. The silence shattered when Mark jumped from his chair. Without even glancing at me, without checking if I was okay, he rushed past the pile of baby gifts and swept his mother into his arms. "Mom, this is incredible!" he shouted, spinning her around while she laughed. "Our kids will grow up together. They'll be best friends." My own husband, the father of my child, had abandoned me in front of everyone to celebrate the woman who had just destroyed my special day. I sat frozen in my chair, ribbon still in my hand from the gift I'd been opening. My sister touched my shoulder, whispering if I was all right, but I couldn't speak. The party continued around me in slow motion. People awkwardly congratulated Karen while shooting me sympathetic looks. Some guests started leaving early, sensing the uncomfortable shift in the atmosphere. My perfect baby shower had become Karen's announcement party, and my husband was her biggest cheerleader. The car ride home was silent until I finally exploded. "How could you let her do that?" I demanded, my voice shaking with rage and hurt. "She hijacked our baby shower, Mark, the one day that was supposed to be about our daughter, and you just let her take it." Mark's jaw tightened as he gripped the steering wheel. "You're being dramatic," he said. "Can't you just be happy for her? She's been lonely since Dad left. This baby is giving her new purpose." When I pointed out the timing was suspicious, he turned cold. "Not everything is about you," he said. "Maybe if you weren't so jealous of my mom, you'd see this is actually a blessing. Our kids will have a built-in best friend." That night, I cried myself to sleep while Mark texted his mother about baby names. I realized I wasn't just married to him, I was married to both of them, and I would always come second. The next few weeks became my personal nightmare. Karen started copying everything I did. When I posted a picture of my baby bump at 20 weeks, she posted one an hour later, pushing out her stomach and claiming to be showing early. When I registered for a specific stroller, she bought the exact same one the next day. When I mentioned craving pickles, and ice cream, she suddenly developed the same craving and made Mark drive her to the store at midnight. She started a social media campaign comparing our pregnancies. Every post was about how magical it was to be pregnant at the same time as her daughter-in-law. She created a joint hashtag for us and tagged me in everything. When I didn't respond, she told everyone I was being hormonal and difficult. Mark said I should be flattered that she wanted to share this experience with me. But Karen never seemed sick. At 48, pregnancy should have been harder on her body, but she bounced around like a teenager. When I asked about her morning sickness, she said she was blessed not to have any. When I asked about her doctor, she said she was seeing a specialist who didn't allow visitors. When I suggested we go to a prenatal yoga class together, she always had an excuse. The breaking point came when I was helping Mark clean the garage. In his old jacket pocket, I found a crumpled receipt. My blood ran cold as I read it. It was from a theatrical supply website, and the item purchased was listed clearly. 1 realistic silicone pregnancy belly, size small with straps. The date was 2 days before our baby shower. "What is this?" I asked, my hands trembling as I held up the receipt. Mark barely glanced at it before laughing. "Oh, that's from months ago," he said casually. "My buddy needed it. For a Halloween party." "You're being paranoid again. Pregnancy brain is making you crazy." But I knew he was lying. His friend's party was in October, and this receipt was from April. Everything clicked into place. The strategic, flowing dresses, the lack of symptoms, the mysterious doctor, the convenient timing. Karen wasn't pregnant. She was wearing a fake belly to steal attention from my real pregnancy. And somehow, Mark was in on it. I started documenting everything. I took screenshots of her posts, noting how her bump size changed inconsistently. I recorded conversations where she contradicted herself about due dates and symptoms. Then I hired a private investigator with money from my personal savings account. What he found confirmed everything. The investigator obtained security footage from Karen's apartment building. The video showed her entering her apartment in her pregnancy outfit, then leaving 20 minutes later with a completely flat stomach. He found the theatrical supply website had shipped 3 different-sized bellies to her address. Her medical records, obtained through a contact, showed no pregnancy, no prenatal visits. Nothing. She was completely faking it. When Karen announced her gender reveal party, inviting everyone from our social circle, I saw my opportunity. She planned an elaborate event at a country club, complete with pink and blue decorations, a massive cake, and a photographer. She wanted maximum attention, and I would make sure she got it. I pretended to be supportive, offering to help with planning. Karen was thrilled, thinking she had finally broken me down. I had access to everything, including the party schedule and the AV system they'd use for music. I compiled all my evidence into a video presentation and labeled it as her tribute video in the party program. The day arrived, and Karen was glowing with fake pregnancy pride. She wore a tight pink dress that showed off her perfectly round silicone bump. Mark stood beside her, playing the role of proud son and soon-to-be big brother. Over 100 guests had gathered to celebrate this imaginary baby. The scene was set for her ultimate humiliation. As Karen prepared to cut the cake that would reveal pink or blue frosting inside, I stepped forward with a microphone. "Before we reveal the gender," I announced, "I've prepared a special tribute video for our mother-to-be." The crowd applauded. Karen beamed, touching her fake belly lovingly. Mark smiled at me, probably thinking I'd finally accepted his mother's delusion. The video began sweetly with photos of Karen through the years, pictures of her with Mark as a baby, sentimental music playing softly. Then the music stopped. The screen went black for a moment before showing the security footage. There was Karen entering her apartment in the same dress she'd worn to my baby shower, her belly prominently displayed. Then, thinking she was alone and safe, she reached under her dress and pulled out the silicone belly, tossing it on her couch with obvious relief. The video continued. Screenshots of her purchasing receipts appeared. The investigator's documentation of her medical records flashed on screen, highlighting the words No current pregnancy in bold letters. The final shot was a close-up of the theatrical supply receipt from Mark's pocket with the date circled in red. The room was absolutely silent. Someone dropped a champagne glass, and the shattering sound echoed through the space. Karen's face went from red to white to gray in seconds. "That's fake," she screamed, pointing at the screen with a shaking finger. "She made this up because she's jealous. Tell them, Mark! Tell them about the baby and But Mark was staring at his mother's stomach, then at the screen, then back at her stomach. The truth was undeniable, even to him. I spoke calmly into the microphone, my voice carrying across the stunned crowd. I wanted a family with a husband who would protect me and our child, instead, I got a man who helped his mother fake a pregnancy to steal attention from his real baby. We're done. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. I looked directly at Mark, whose mouth was opening and closing like a fish out of water. You chose her over us. Now you can have her all to yourself. Then I walked out, my heels clicking against the marble floor, leaving behind chaos and destruction. Behind me, I could hear the explosion. Guests were leaving in disgust. Someone called Karen a psychopath. Her sister was screaming at her about getting help. Mark was trying to explain, to salvage something, but there was nothing left to save. Their house of lies had collapsed completely, and everyone could see the ugly truth underneath. The divorce was quick. Mark tried to contest it at first, but the video from the gender reveal had gone viral in our community. His reputation was destroyed. His own friends stopped talking to him. His boss, who had been at the party, suddenly found reasons to criticize his work. He lost his promotion and eventually his job. No woman in town would date him after learning how he'd treated his pregnant wife. Karen faced even worse consequences. The video spread through her social circles like wildfire. Her husband, who had been considering reconciliation, filed a restraining order instead. Her friends abandoned her. She was kicked out of her book club, her charity organization, and even her church group. Someone spray-painted "fake pregnancy psycho" on her car. She eventually had to move to another state to escape the humiliation. Now I'm a single mother to a beautiful baby girl. She's 6 months old and perfect in every way. We live in a cozy apartment filled with real love and joy, not manipulation and lies. My sister helps me, my true friends support me, and I've never been happier. I sometimes see Mark around town looking hollow and defeated. He's tried to apologize dozens of times, but I never respond. He made his choice, and now he lives with it. Last week I heard Karen was claiming to have cancer now, trying to get attention and sympathy in her new town. But people Google her name and find the video. She's become a cautionary tale about narcissism and enabling. Mark still defends her, from what I hear, but no one listens to him anymore. They destroyed their own lives the moment they decided to destroy mine. My daughter will grow up knowing her worth. She'll learn to recognize manipulation and never accept disrespect, not even from family. She'll know that standing up for yourself isn't cruel, it's necessary, and she'll never have to compete for attention with someone's fake pregnancy at her own baby shower. If you faced betrayal from family, remember that you deserve respect. Your special moments matter. Your feelings are valid, and sometimes the best revenge is simply revealing the truth and walking away. Like and subscribe if you believe in standing up against toxic in-laws and the spouses who enable them.